the paucity of coverage given to Senator Sanders' policy issues. Right. Yesterday, we heard all about how Hillary Clinton is proposing that we spend $35 billion a year for 10 years to solve the problem of $1.4 trillion in student loan debt and, you know, the high cost of going to college. It's a nice plan. It's a good plan. It's a nice start. I would say, you know, if we can afford to spend $3 trillion on wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, we can afford to simply wipe out $1.4 trillion in student loan debt, declare a jubilee, a holiday, and we know from our experience with the GI Bill that if you invest $1 in college education for a young man or woman, that you'll get back $7 into the Treasury of the United States in additional tax money because that person will have higher earnings throughout the course of their life. That'll take you 50 years to get that money back, but hey, it's still a damn good investment. And it's one of the reasons, I mean, the GI Bill in the 40s is one of the reasons why in the 60s and 70s, the United States led the world in science and innovation. This is not, you know, weird esoteric stuff. This is common sense. So anyhow, so I'm looking at the media will cover the fact that 28,000 people showed up for Bernie's event, but they won't cover what he said. Because the message of Senator Sanders is so antithetical, so opposite, so diametrically opposed to the message of corporate media in America, which is still in this kind of Reagan mode, greed is good, glorify fame, glorify wealth, lifestyles of the rich and famous, star culture, celebrity culture. You know, essentially what the media is doing is they're saying, you know, okay, Bernie got 28,000 people. He's now a celebrity. Let's treat him like a celebrity. So we'll cover him. We'll show him. We'll say, oh, he's shaking hands with, oh, he's in a conflict with somebody. Let's talk about that. That's what celebrities do. Kim Kardashian is trash talking somebody. Let's talk, you know, or vice versa. I mean, you know, So our infotainment media is covering Bernie as a celebrity now. At least that's better than being completely ignored, but his message is still being completely ignored. Which is like just fundamentally a bad thing. Willamette Week. I wish I could remember Mark's last name. The guy who's the co-owner or publisher, he used to be on my, when I was doing a local program in Portland, Oregon, he was on my show every week. Willamette Week is great publication. It's a weekly newspaper. It's part of the network of weekly newspapers all over the country. All it's locally owned in Oregon, in Portland. A far better newspaper than the New York's, owned by a right-wing New York family, the Oregonian, which is the other statewide newspaper. Willamette Week put together a list of the top 13 lines that got the most applause from the crowd last night or night before last in Portland. Lines that Bernie said. This is the stuff you're not going to hear in the media. And it's one of the reasons why I think it's so important that people who have access to media, in other words, do you have a Twitter account? Do you have a Facebook account? Do you have an Instagram account? Do you have a LinkedIn account? I mean, whatever it may be, if you've got people following you, or if you want to create a blog over at thomhartmann.com, you can create your own. Here is your opportunity to be the media and talk about the actual issues. Because so far we've had largely an issues-free discussion. Even the Republican beauty pageant, which was sold as a debate, like there was some debating going on. The Republican beauty pageant, sponsored by Fox So-Called News, never discussed income inequality in any meaningful way. Never discussed, rolling back the Reagan tax cuts at all. Never discussed the fact that capitalists pay a capitalist gains tax that's an income tax, a maximum of 20%, whereas working people pay a maximum of 39%. Never discussed the fact that American corporations are paying lower taxes than they have since the 1930s, and since the 1920s, actually. Never discussed the fact that the Republicans have set up an absolute train wreck with Social Security disability that's going to happen in October of next year, just in time for the election. Never discussed the fact that Social Security and Medicare could be solvent forever if you just lifted the Social Security tax cap so that Bill Gates pays the same percentage of his income into it that average working people do. Never discussed the fact that too big to fail banks could take the country down again. Never discussed that. None of these really serious and truly consequential issues, whether or not we should know what's in our food. Should we label GMOs? Should we have country of origin labeling? Should we do something about our insane trade policies that have caused us to lose 60,000 factories since George W. Bush became president? Should we do something about the fact that wages, middle class wages, working class wages, have actually gone down since Reagan's presidency, whereas productivity and corporate profits and CEO income have all exploded. The Republican beauty contest did not discuss any of those things. It was all about God and gays. I mean, or actually, it was who can be, which of the men can be tougher on asserting that women are basically, the role of women is to be the incubation chamber for a fetus, because you never know, it might be a male. And so even if she dies, Marco Rubio says, even if she dies as a consequence of that pregnancy, and you know it's going to happen, if that baby is going to come out okay, let her die. That baby might be male. 50-50 chance. Anyhow, here are Bernie's 13 big lines, none of which, are we hearing in the media. Number 13, if a bank is too big to fail, I think it's too big to exist. Number 12, we must end the embarrassment of this country being the only country on earth that does not guarantee workers paid medical and family leave. By the way, did you hear any of this in the Republican beauty contest that Fox put on? Number 11, we see kids getting criminal records for having marijuana, but the CEOs of these large institutions get away with theft. Number 10, he's talking about the Koch brothers. When you have one family spending more than either political party, that is not democracy, that is oligarchy, and that has got to end. Number 9, he's talking about Republicans. What they mean by family values is that our gay brothers and sisters should not be able to marry and enjoy all the benefits of citizenship. I disagree. Number 8, men stand with the women and demand pay equity. There's no defensible reason why women are making 78 cents on the dollar. That has got to change. Number 7, Portland, you've done it better than anyone else. Number 6, a minimum wage of $7 an hour is a starvation wage. I applaud those cities, Seattle, Los Angeles, and others, that have raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and that is exactly what we will do at the federal level. Number 5, on the very rich. They control vast sums of money, but we have something that they do not have. We have a united people. Number 4, every public college and university in America will be tuition free in a Sanders presidency. Number 3, the cost of war is real and it is terrible. I believe that war should be the last resort, not the first resort. Number 2, on his Supreme Court nominees, they will have to tell the American people that their first order of business will be to overturn Citizens United. And number 1, this campaign is sending a message to the billionaire class. Yes, we have the guts to take you on. Did you hear any of that in the Republican beauty pageant? Did you hear any of that in the coverage of Senator Sanders? No, of course not. This is over at wweek.com, by the way, Willamette Week's website. 15 minutes past the hour.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
So how do you deal with an absolute media blackout on anything of substance? Start posting stuff of substance on Twitter, on Facebook, and anywhere else you can.